Grand Rising, Ashe, Hotep, Islamism, um, Amen, Amin Ra. Whatever your religion is, I am greeting you today. And I'm dropping this video today because I think people need to understand your purpose and how it's manifested. Excuse me, I'm up, I'm working on my seventh book. And I'm excited, man. I've never thought I'd be this type of writer, even though I've created comic books and I wrote hundreds and hundreds, maybe 1,000 songs, maybe more, and I wrote a lot of poetry. I'm an artist by nature. I'm intuitive. I'm a visionary. I can sense and read energies, frequencies, and being in the music field, it increases that when you work for 30 years doing this stuff and you understand your purpose. And so what I'm doing is I look down to the camera and then up to the lens and to the actual eye of the camera. Today I want to break down, how do you fulfill your purpose? And how do you fulfill your purpose by yourself and with a guide? This is important because this is going to help a lot of people. When you're fulfilling your purpose, you got to understand one thing. One, get rid of all the distractions. Get rid of all the negative naysayers. and this is a very difficult thing, but when you love God within you, the kingdom, it's not hard. It's actually going to be easy. And then you're going to be able to pursue things quicker and manifest things faster. For example, I don't live in the past. Now, saying that is now the past. I don't live in that no more. I'm living in the now future, not the future of hope and all this, the illusions and chasing. That's futuristic. Creating, trying to create something forcefully, that's future. I live in the now future. The now future, as I correct this, the now future is me living, knowing who I am and what I do and what I see in myself. Now, what I see in myself, other people won't be able to see it, especially people who are not vibrating on my level or on my frequency. I see myself vibrating between the fifth and the ninth dimensions, where my ancestors are, with those who have ascended. I am a ascendant, not a descendant. Now, keep all these points in play here because this is going to really help you. I am also living in the now future because of what I'm doing and what I'm manifesting. And what I'm doing, what I'm manifesting is not of the past, it's of the now future. Because I don't have to chase money or wealth. I don't have to worry about my enemies hating on me and trying to destroy me. I don't have to worry about those things because I don't live in the past. Again, I just said it. I don't live there. I don't have to repeat it. Moving forward. And so in order for people, and they must understand this, and I'll move my finger off that mic. In order for people to understand this, moving into your now future, manifestation, growing, being isolated is not a bad thing. It's actually one of the most beneficial things you can ever do because you get to know yourself. You get to do the shadow work, as they call it, and you get to weed out and tear things off of you and inside of you that don't belong there. And you get to battle the naysayers and the negative things because time will tell the truth. The truth will always outlive a lie because lies have to be constantly manifested. When someone lies on you, when someone tries to deceive you, when someone hates on you, when someone is spreading rumors, propaganda, slandering you, they got to keep that shit up. They got to keep going over it and over, and they got to keep constantly telling people what you ain't, who you ain't, what you is, and they got to constantly keep living in that shit. And as they living in that shit, that dung, they're living the past. And it keeps them in a hamster wheel, a Groundhog's Day syndrome, a cycle of negativity. Again, side chaining. That's why you can never destiny swap with somebody on a higher vibration. Because to destiny swap with them, you got to be able to withstand and withhold all that negativity that's coming your way to purge, cleanse, and produce and manifest you to a higher level. When you're not built that way and you're living always in the past, negativity, hate, propaganda, slander, rumors, gossip, when you're living in that, you're stuck and it will kill you. Your body is your temple, and your temple is set up designed to house the spirit, the light. But if the light is not there, that body will die. That's why we call them light bodies. Big ups, big ups, and big shouts to Aaron David Moore, Aaron David Nurse, aka Volatile. We miss you. I'm not sure where you're at, if you transcended, moved on, left this plane, or if you're still hiking in the mountains. But like we called it on his album, Light Bodies, it's not about being light in the ass, skinny, frail. It's about being light of weight. And that's why you can go on my website, dbenft.ai. Not my website, but our website, where you'll find different things that we do. We do our courts, documentation. I'm not here freeing people out of the matrix. This is something that people got to figure out for themselves. Now, I can help guide you, and this is what we're talking about. But in the guidance, you got to be rid of the past. You got to go through the isolation period so that all the junk falls off of you that's not supposed to. The rumors, gossip, lies, the deception, even your own deception, what you think you are, what you think you're not. And so being a light body, you're influenced by the positivity of who you are and what you really are. That's why when I corrected my status and my name, whatever you attach to that old name and title, it's no longer attached to me. I don't go by that. Matter of fact, that's been formulated into a foreign business trust and a foreign estate trust. Irrevocable, a government, self-governing. And anything attached to that, you got to fight. Like we've experienced people trying to attach things to things and try to say, oh, this is you. That's not you. Sure, that's not your name. This is your name. And I've got letters from different agencies and corporations trying to say that's me because they're trying to attach the negativity to the past. Well, that name was corrected back in 2004. I hate to break it to you, and it was public record. Then it was corrected again in your system in LA Times and Lancaster newspaper and other documentation, public record, and in courts. So you want to argue? Go ahead. Keep living in that past. Go ahead. I don't have to go there with you because we know the truth. And when you know the truth makes you free. It got your attention. Why are you over here fucking with these idiots? Move forward. You gotta look in the past. So when I'm guiding people and mentoring people and coaching people, the first thing I'm looking for, are you living in the past? And have your body of light illuminated within your body? Are you starting to experience things that could traumatize the average person? And you're standing strong against it. And I'm not talking about young people. I'm talking about people who are older. Because when you don't understand, I understood this at a young age, but I think 12, around 12, 13, I figured it out. I used to spend a lot of time by myself. I used to listen to music. I used to want to produce music. I used to dream of studios, and I used to draw and paint and create, man. I mean, my parents had to buy me crayons. You can buy me crayons. I was cool. The cars, the Tonka trucks, all that stuff, you can keep that. I'll play with that later, but right now I'd rather visualize and create. Visualize and attack. Visualize, produce, promote, invent, create, manifest. And I've been like this since a young boy. That's why it's hard to deter a mind like mine, like they say in the Matrix. Once a mind gets so old, it's hard to break it. Well, it depends on the person. If they really want something, they're going to do it. So anyway, getting back to the point, the light body is illuminated in you. And not greatly. It don't have to be immense. It ain't got to be your everyday norm. It just need to be in there around 30, 40%. Because now you're on the bridge of awakening. And I ain't talking about woke stuff and all that political crazy shit. I'm talking about really being awakened. Like you see demons on people, in them, around them. You sense wickedness, evil. Animals love you. Birds fly around you. Bees don't sting you. And I'm not making this stuff up. I'm literally telling you. I've been around bees like crazy. I've been stung. I've been stung by a wasp before. And I remember when I was little, when a bee landed on me when I was probably about 10 or 11. We were playing in front of this brother named Roger house right there on Hartwell, Cambridge. And there's see, your memory gets good too when you tapped into your light body. But we were playing at this fire hydrant, and we opened the fire hydrant so we could get wet because it was hot. And it felt like it was about 130 degrees, but probably on their Richter scale, on their thermometer, it was probably only like 95, 98, but it was probably 120 degrees. So we like, get this, and on this thing, it was a bee hive. And the beehive was full of bees. It was bees flying all around it. So we was like, forget it. We just going to go in here and take a chance of getting stung. And I wasn't scared. I was just like, I don't know what, I've never been stung before. So I don't know what my reaction would be. And so we were doing this, and this. And my friends who I was playing with, and we were trying to crack open this hydrant, start swinging at the bees. And I was like, stop swinging at them. You know, they're going to start stinging. And sure enough, I got stung. I think I got stung on the neck. And it was a little bump, just a little bump. It wasn't a big bump. And everybody else that got stung had these big bumps on them. And I was looking for the bee that stung me. And usually when they sting you, their stinger gets stuck in you and they die. And so I noticed the bee. I found it. It was on the ground right next to me. And, you know, because when it stings, you know, you kind of like, dang, what was that? And it was just a little prick for me, but everybody else they was like literally hollering. We still got the water. We opened up the fire hydrant. And so we was out there in the water, but still, you know, you're a kid, you don't care. Like, hey, I'm playing in the water, even though I got this bee sting. The next day, everybody was like comparing the stings, and a lot of people were swole up. I wasn't. And I got stung in the neck. And they wasn't noticing. They said, man, did you get stung right here? I was like, yeah, man, the bump is gone. But when someone is guiding you, and this is key, when you're getting guidance, whether it be by spirit, ancestor, or a physical person, live in the now future, not the past, not the future, the what ifs, but what you're controlling. Not what the lies, gossip, lies, rumors, slander, propaganda, theft, harassment, targeting, gang targeting, stalking, harassment. Don't live in that. Because that's their world. And trust me, whether they like it or not, whether they believe it or not, they're going to actually pay for that shit. That's karma. That's sowing and reaping. You can't plant a seed on the ground and not expect it to come up. And it tells you what type of seeds, not what type of seeds, what type of soil or ground that the seed will hit. And if the seed hits a hard ground, that seed is going to wither away. The wind will blow it away. They'll miss their opportunities, what that's saying. And if the seed is planted on a shallow ground, it won't be able to sprout its roots further down enough to pop up its karma or its reaping. And if the seed is in a place where birds and animals are, they're going to eat the seed. Get it? So you got to get deep rooted. That's what started my production company. It was a meditation, and I was like, I know what to name my company now. Deep Rooted Productions. You got to be planted deep in the ground, so the roots will go deep in the ground. I got a song called I did with a brother named Aaron Moore. We call him Tupac, APOC, not Tupac. We call him APOC. And Aaron D. Moore, Aaron Duvall Moore, brother, that's why I accidentally called Aaron Nurse, but Aaron Duvall Moore wrote this song, I Am a Tree. And let your roots be planted deep in the ground. And I'll try to add the audio later, or I'll put the track up on my website on the audio side, the music side. But when the seed is planted deep enough in you and you believe it, you start doing these things. You don't care what's going on, who's doing what, who's over here. Oh, my mom and them, my brother and them, my sister and them, my cousin and them, my friends, and I got to be over here. You ain't worried about that because you're working on your now future. Every second pass is the past. Every minute that's gone by is the past if you live in time. Every opportunity that you gave up Is the past create a new opportunity? Something similar. It'll come back, but it's going to be dressed differently. You can't say I went and applied at these 3 companies and they all passed on me except one company. I went and applied and they said, cool, we'll hire you. Well, that's the present. That's the now, present, future. The past is those jobs that passed on you. So if you're looking to do something to manifest, the key is to live in the now future. And that means, what are you doing right now that will impact your tomorrow future? What have you done over the past 365 days? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Don't expect to be shown the bullshit. It's just like what this guy said the other day. He said they lied to us, man. He said if we fast and our bodies will go into fight or flight, survival mode, and we'll just gain weight. No, fasting actually makes you lose weight. And you can see my face is getting smaller now because I fast a lot. I'm getting better at taking care of myself at this new level. Because a new level, a new devil. Well, that don't matter to me because I'm a Christ-made renegade rebel. And so all the things that people have said about us, hated on us about, that's the past, and that's their past. You got to remember, that's where they're living. And even if they're trying to destiny swap, remember where they're living at. It'll never work. Your feet cannot walk not only in my shoes, but on the path that I've been called to walk on. How do you know? I'll explain. If I'm being guided by something that's a light or in a light body, and you're guided by darkness, demons, low vibration frequencies, hate, negativity, you're not being guided, you're being misguided. Misguiding and misguidance leads people to what they sowed. And if your heart ain't right, if the soil ain't deep, full of love, vested, if there's no history or continuity or consistency, that seed is going to be torn apart. And a lot of times the seed that you're trying to plant, you're trying to steal somebody's identity, likeness, and so on and so forth, and swap destinies, which I just think is impossible, especially for a light body person, a high level frequency person. High vibration person, because if you knew what they went through, you wouldn't be trying that, because you got to experience that. You can't steal somebody's destiny without swapping the experience. And what they experienced in the past, which is gone, you got to now deal with in the now, present, future. And many of you are not going to make it. You won't make it past tomorrow. And your mindset will deceive you. I don't care how many drugs you take, how many friends around you rooting you on. There's always a yes man somewhere. But the yes man eventually gets tired of saying yes and will start saying, fuck this. Nah, no, it ain't working, dude. And so to be guided, you have to get rid of the old thinking, the past, the negativity, the past. Oh, this didn't work last time. That was last time. Try it again. See what happened. Try it again and see what happened. And this is the key. When you're trying something for the first time again on a different day, it's new. Old things pass away. Behold, all things become new. That's leaving the past behind. And so what people don't realize, this is what I love about negative people. They're conjuring up their own destiny. And this destiny is going to be a short-lived one. Not only that, you're passing this energy on to your children, their children, their children. It's called iniquities. And when you're doing that type of stuff, you're destroying yourself. You can't blame the people you're attacking or you're trying to slander or use propaganda against. You got to blame yourself. You brought that shit on yourself, as Eddie Murphy said it. Brought that shit on yourself. So when you're trying to be guided by the light, know that you got to be at 40% capacity so you can be filled up. You can't fill up an empty jar without something to put in it. I got to pour something into you. But if you can't fill up an empty jar with something that they're not prepared to contain. Let's say it that way. And that you can't fill up a full jar when it's full of all the negativity, the past, and so on and so forth. Fear, doubt, worry, false evidence appearing real. I created that acronym, so people are trying to use it. YOU, Your Own Universe. I didn't create that one. That's come from Brother C. Freeman L., who's still with us in spirit, and was one of my guides, plain and simple. I remember just hearing his voice one day, and I was just like, why is C. Freeman L. in my head like that? And I got the answer. And so, in reality, what we're looking at today, which is really hilarious to me, yeah, I see I'm being mentioned in comments in places I'm no longer at. Um, uh, what we are looking at is the now future, and it's based upon what you're doing. You can't expect your future to change if you're not doing it, if you're not looking. If you want to buy a home, and I experienced this, if you want to buy a home and you got people blocking you, trying to hate you, debank you, and all this other shit, stop looking where they're looking. Matter of fact, send them a detour. Send them something where because if they spying on your phones, your computers, and all that stuff, send them a detour. Let them start looking over here when you're actually going over there. Forget the past, because you already know what they're capable of doing. And so when you're tapped into your now future, that's all you're going to work on. And you're not going to be concerned about what people think, their opinions. Come on, man. People who invent, create, produce, and manifest, they don't give a shit about what you think. They ain't concerned, oh, man, they're going to love this. And this is how I know, like, the music industry is so fucked up. Especially, hip hop and R&B. And as one sister said on TikTok, you can tell men don't like women anymore because of the songs they write today. Well, that's a broad sense. And sister, I got to correct you. And I ain't trying to correct you for no status, no props. And I'm telling you that's wrong. That's a wrong way of thinking, because I didn't write the fucking song. I didn't give him the muse to write those songs. Those songs are not being created anymore, past, because of the future that they've been preparing for your ass. And that's for you to dislike one another. And that's all y'all promote. Look what they post. Look what you post. Look what you post every day. And then you got people selling shit that don't work. Look what you posting every day. You know you lying. You send up and say, oh, this works and this is 100%. And then they're using people's images and likenesses to sell something. And it ain't even their voice, or it's their image and it's not their voice, or it's their, and you can tell it's AI duplicated, because I've experienced that myself. And so what you're looking at, people, is simple. You're looking at something that is going to destroy people because they're stuck in the past and they think music should be written. There's another level of love that people haven't experienced. It ain't always sex me and girl, give me that ass and back that ass up and I want to make love to you, I buy you the world. That ain't love. That's control. Peak game. And that's why a lot of these, there's a movie out, I can't think, The Maid, I think it's called. These women get sucked into these wealthy guys who ain't mature spiritually. There's no light in them. They're empty. Can't feel light in an empty place that ain't got no light in it. That's why I say fill up 40%. See, you know what to put in the jar. You'll know what to put in the jar because there's already 40% there. See, I'm not going to put, okay, why do you think most people are manipulated into going into churches and putting money at the feet of the pastor? Because somebody has already done it. And you're looking at it and you get that unction to do it yourself. And you think it's the Spirit of God, and it's not. You're influenced and your consciousness is in control, or your consciousness is being controlled by somebody else's conscience, or that has already set up the repeat of this. That's why you think prosperity gospel or prosperity TVs, shows, and videos are popular. Be a better you. and 50 minutes. It takes some time. 40% takes time, especially when you don't have it. It takes moments. It takes guidance. It takes experience. It takes light. And I say, empty your cup and put 40% of light in that bad boy. No matter how long you got to do it. Isolation is a good thing. Because what you're going to do is fill that cup up. And somebody's going to come pour in that bad boy and help you get to that 60%. They're not going to give you the 60%. You're going to help work your way to it. And the keys to this is the keys to the kingdom is that you're ready. As the scripture says, woe unto you lawyers. You shut up the kingdom and other people because you ain't even entered into it yourself. Uh-oh. That's sowing and reaping. That's planting seeds. And that's why when you read my books, you're going to see this in there. And it breaks down how you're being manipulated. Hey, you can't represent yourself. Now I'm hearing all over the world, especially here in the Americas and within the United States, 2 different places. There are more pro se litigants than there are attorneys in the country. People are not willing to spend money and invest in someone they can't trust. I would say go watch The Rainmaker, go watch Liar Liar, go watch The Wave and The Devil's Advocate and The Firm. All 5 of these movies are very deep. They tell on themselves and they tell you they influence you what you think you should say in a courtroom of law when it ain't even a courtroom of law. It's not a court of law. Article 1 courts are not courts of laws, first of all. And the treaty is the supreme law of the land. The treaty is. You got to have a treaty to be on this land claiming all this stuff you're claiming. And most of these people don't have treaties. They just claim. That's why all these politicians talk about constitutional rights. Well, the supreme law of the land is not the Constitution. It's the treaties. That's the supreme law. Article 10 Article 10 in the Constitution tell you the supreme law of the land is the treaties. And you must abide by that. And when you got people walking in the courts talking about this, and this, and ain't provided who they are, they just give you a bar license. And they doing it based on the favor of the people that are helping them or manipulation. They go in, they sex these clerks up, promises them this, that, buy them stuff, give them money, and then they got them. They got these courts locked down. That's why things are coming to full circle right now. It's the karma is knocking on these people's door and they can't run from it. It's just what it is. But empty your cup and fill it up with light. And then your teacher, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm telling you, man, when you're ready, come to dbnft.ai. When you're ready. Don't come now because you're not ready. Don't come over to this website because we're going to sit there and look. And I want you to submit a video. Introduce who you are. That's how I'm taking students. And I'm telling you publicly now. That's how I take students. Send me a video of who you are. I'll look at the video. I'll be able to discern. If I can't discern right then and there, I'll wait. And then I may or may not contact you. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just what it is. So empty your jar, your cup, and fill it up with 40% of light. Make an effort. Stop complaining about what you don't have and go do something that you can do to get what you want. And I ain't talking about selling your soul. I ain't talking about all this negativity, what we see out here today, people joining cliques, clubs, crews, cults, all kind of crazy shit just to fit in. And then you turn around and complain about the people that got caught on that island and on other lists, and yet you still supporting these people. I'm like, damn, good luck. Good luck with all that. That's that again, seeds. You are of your father the devil. How you know? The fruit don't fall far from the tree. Why do you think they say that in the Bible? This stuff is hilarious to me, man. So back to the light. Back to understanding your purpose and fulfilling your purpose and filling up your cup or your jar to 90%. How do you do that? Isolation. I think all my enemies and people who dislike me and was jealous of me and just didn't like me for whatever reason, thank you. Because I was never a person who was needy of people's attention and I need your respect. I don't need shit from people. Especially when you're not on my level. I don't need anything from you. Look here, I barely talk to people as it is. I'm not reaching out to nobody who's wasting my time and energy and trying to destiny swap and trying to be me. Because see, remote viewing ain't just for the initiated. It's for the spiritual enlightened people. And you can see the truth, and the truth will make you free. So empty them cups. Get that cup filled up 40% full of light. And the teacher will appear. Guidance will begin to happen. You can't be guided when you're locked down and you're hanging out with all these people and you're in a room full of negativity. How do you expect to be guided? How do you expect things to change? You're hanging out with the same people. You're doing the same thing you were doing the other day. You just think it's different. It's the Groundhog Day syndrome. It's the hamster wheel. Around and around they go. When will it stop? No one knows. Take a vibration to increase your love flow. If you don't, it's a no bueno. All low frequencies will have to go or blow. Bye-bye, say hi or hell no. Mother Nature is the real show. This hamster wheel gots to go. Gots to go. Gots to go. So anyway, man, I just wanted to drop that on y'all this morning, man. I don't do a whole lot of video drops, but I just had to drop that one, man, because this is deep. Be the light, empty your cup, and if your cup is empty, fill it up with light. Don't say, oh, my cup is empty. Yeah, but you're not ready. Fill it up with light. Start to show me what I need to put in it. You can't walk over, okay, here you go. You just went to a restaurant, all you can eat restaurant, and this is what life is. Life is an all you can eat, all you can experience buffet. I don't want nobody copying this. Life is an all you can do and get buffet. But it depends on what's in your cup or on your plate. When you come back up to the server and your plate is empty, they gonna ask you, what do you want? Versus what was already on your plate. They can look at your plate and see you got gravy or your little piece of chicken. Oh, you want some? Because you're standing right there. They're like, I don't know what you want. That's the universe. The universe is the greatest server of all. And when you get things on your plate in your cup and it's full of light, you're telling them what you want. More of this. More of this. And don't be afraid of the transitions, the changes, the break-offs, the breakups, the cutoffs, the divorces, the separations, the divisions. That's a good sign. When people are stealing and robbing, they don't break into empty houses. They don't break into houses that ain't got nothing in them. They come in your house because they know you got something they want. The only problem is they can never get it. You can take it for right now, but it's coming back, Job. Go read Job. And Job wasn't just praying, he was doing a whole lot of meditating. And that didn't happen overnight. That took years. Years. My guess is about 30 years. Because Job had to get elevated from the position he was already a spiritual man. He was already a religious man. He was self-righteous. He was a righteous man. But he was taken to a whole nother level. He's purged. He was cleansed. So empty your cup. Get the guidance you need. But you ain't going to get that guidance until you empty your cup. Thank you.